MrWhoseTheBoss has spent over a decade building one of the biggest tech channels in the world, with over 20 million subscribers and 1,700 videos. And now he's taken on his biggest project yet, transforming his entire house. So I flew to London so we could tour it.
Oh my God.
And let's just say the tour was full of surprises.
What was that?
Oh, and also he showed me stuff that he's never shared before.
No way. This is insane.
Arun's house is just as amazing as he is.
Is that real?
And I'm so stoked we get to share it with you.
We are officially in your dream studio and dream home.
I can't believe how far you came for this.
I'm so excited and it's really lived up. It's like exceeded the hype and you're obviously amazing. So let's start out with Studio A.
Studio A.
Right behind us is possibly the coolest wall I've ever seen. And I would love to dive into what makes it so special.
On one hand, it's kind of like we just stuck a TV behind us. But the cool thing about this is that it's like 0 reflections.
Yeah.
So it's one less surface that you don't have to worry about from all of these lights that you tend to put around. And then it's also the fact that the software allows it to work in a way that's conducive for video.
And also, unlike a green screen, you get real reflections on the table because it's actually emitting the light.
Yeah. The company that makes this screen is called Voo.
Okay.
Voo has worked with Aperture to integrate those lights within the Voo software, which means that one piece of software controls every single light, and also, even more conveniently, all lights together. It means that you could create scenes, for example, like let's say there's fire in the background.
Yep.
I could then decide, I want this one to flicker with like a kind of orangey, warm hue onto my face.
So it sells it.
Yeah, so it sells it.
What was the pain point that you were solving with this? Like what sucked in the previous studio that you were like, we have to fix that?
So I'd say nothing sucked, but what we had in the past studio was 3 TVs. So we had 3 TVs behind me, and that slowly evolved into like, well, if we had 3 TVs, why don't we theme those TVs to the tone of the video? But then it's like, well, if we have 3 separate TVs, why not just make them one TV?
Yep.
And that kind of ended up becoming this.
Yep, which is really cool. How many different screens is it?
I want to say 60 different panels. And so you can kind of, at some small points up close, see the edges.
See the edges.
But it's essentially made so that from the angle of the camera, you just will not.
You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Interesting. We have very similar lights. These are apertures. They're great. This is storage, sound paneling to make it sound good.
Sound paneling, there's going to be a lot more sound paneling actually. I think if you came back in 6 months, there's going to be far more acoustic foam everywhere. And it's going to be like much less sibilance.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, similarly, like you wouldn't know that this emits a lot of heat.
Yes.
So you have to like control over that. It kind of makes the room feel cozy vibes.
It's also why we're leaving pretty soon.
Here we go. Passing the control panel. You could probably like rig up lights to the ceiling too.
Originally we tried to.
Okay, did not work.
Well, it didn't give us the flexibility of floor mounted things. And we thought since we have enough space such that, because in our previous studio it was a trip hazard. Like it was actually like the camera people were like this and they were like going under there. And then we're like, oh no, I moved it, let's go back. We don't need to worry about that anymore. So a little bit of floor space is okay.
And also like I love the attention to detail of like actually putting the cable in. It makes it so much better.
That's an example of Arun's obsessiveness.
Yes, I love it.
I hate cables.
Me too.
Don't want to see them, don't want to think about them.
Yeah, like this is perfect. Yeah, because otherwise it's like I've definitely tripped over cables on a shoot.
Yeah.
And then you have to go from like being like, oh my God, this sucks, to like be on camera like a second later. So it's helpful if the environment's conducive.
Every single camera is an FX6 because it's going to mean the least amount of work in post to sync all the cameras.
Smart. Love that. And is this a teleprompter?
Yes. For a very long time, I used to use a phone that's just off camera, and I'd grab it and I'd be like, what's the next line? Oh, it's that. Okay, put it down. But actually, the teleprompter, I don't stick to it word for word. But having that safety, that kind of reassurance of knowing that every single word is on there, actually puts my mind in a state of ease, such that I can improv easier.
Love that. Then does it wait for you? Like if, let's say you change a line.
It's voice activated.
No way!
Yeah.
Wait, that is so cool. I didn't know that even existed. So you can like say the line and it will pause until you say the next line? Like the scrolling?
Yeah.
That is sick. It seems like the lights are exactly set up to like you could just sit down and start recording.
Yeah, it's like, it's made for me. So like in this situation, you spent an hour fiddling for it to work for both of us. But yeah, for most videos where it is just me,
This is a pretty special set. Yeah, and it fits your vibe too. Like I feel like everything feels like techie, but like home vibes. Because like one of the things about your videos is that they're relatable.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you not lose that when you move to a big space?
And I think that was actually a big part of what we were trying to like not do, is like a lot of YouTubers move to a big studio and it becomes a studio, you know what I mean? It feels like a studio.
Feels different. Whereas for us, there's literally a gym right across the hall. This is so sick. Wow, the lighting.
We still need to add some diffusers to this. It's effectively, Philips Hue is really good lighting, but it's not commercial grade. And so you end up coming into issues like there not being enough LEDs for it to be a smooth gradient. So you still see each individual light.
So you have to diffuse it. All of these machines are touch activated with your Apple Watch?
Yeah, so you literally go up to like here, for example.
Okay.
And then you touch.
Oh my God, it has your profile.
It will literally start the workout automatically, and it will, like, as soon as I get on.
Yep. What do you like better, treadmill or elliptical?
I like the elliptical because of like less strain, essentially.
Yep, on your body. Yeah, I have like a pre-stress fracture right now, hence the crutches when I came in.
Yeah, I noticed.
And it was from running. You're good at dance, right?
Good is a subjective opinion. Technically speaking, I have good dance moves. I think my rhythm isn't quite there.
Really? I thought it was good.
Well, thank you. This is the storage room.
This is great.
And it's not what it's going to be. I'd like to right up front just caveat that. But the idea of this room is everything has a place.
Yep.
So like, we used to live in my parents' house, and that was an absolute mess. Like, everything was everywhere, and you wouldn't actually be able to find the things you were looking for. So like, imagine how frustrating it is that you need something for a video, you know you've already bought it, you've paid for it, and you can't find it.
Yep, the worst.
And so the one thing, like the one key rule in this room is there's no misc section.
I love that.
Right, so it's like, if there's no misc section, everything has to have a place that means we have to be able to find it.
I love that. That's
and so like, this is the very early stages of it. We've got storage racks, and the boxes are all basically gonna have the video that they're relevant to.
Yep. Well, this is a great setup.
I want you to come back another time.
I totally will. Oh my God, this just like lit you up. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so like, for example, all of these will be labeled at some point in the future, and they'll all be categorized. So this room, because we've kind of moved into the house, and then we've kind of used it as a dump, and then we want to turn it into a storage room, we kind of have to gut this room first. This is our top-down set. I kind of sit down here, and I kind of move this up and down.
Oh my God.
And then we get the preview on that screen there. We spent all our creative energy making the rest of the rooms.
Yeah.
And this is the one room that didn't really have a time scale, so we not got round to like pushing ourselves to doing it.
But it looks like it's in a pretty good shape. Like, you can see the vision of what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
This room, which is the cinema.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Whoa, the carpet is so comfy.
I feel like it hits different as well because there's concrete everywhere else.
Yeah, so all the floors are concrete, and then this is like the most comfortable carpet. Wow.
So these are PS5 Pros.
Okay.
PlayStation Portal for Player 4.
Whoa.
And then, Xbox, Switch.
Which one's your favorite?
It's not the Xbox.
Okay, definitely instant no to the Xbox.
I don't think we've used it yet. I'm most impressed by the Switch. The PlayStations are like, in a way, they're like the obvious best because they've got the most games, they're the most powerful, they're the most expensive. So if they weren't the best, that would be more alarming. Yeah.
Also, the audio in here is really good.
Yeah. It's actually not as isolating as it could be. The best cinema rooms are actually not just like absorption. They're like a combination of absorption and reflection.
Oh, interesting.
So behind this, like all of these are basically false walls. This is acoustically transparent fabric.
Okay.
But behind is a really carefully tiled mosaic of absorption and reflection to get the perfect like balance.
That makes sense. Yeah, because in a movie you want some like reverb.
So this is a Control 4 remote. So it means you can control things.
Oh my God. Oh. Wow.
But so the vision is basically, I have two friends who I play games with. I want them to come to this house to be able to play in the same room as me. This is effectively one of their TVs, the other one is there. We've got something called an HDMI matrix down there, which means that any one of those inputs can go to any one of the outputs in this room. So I can say, for example, like TV left can have any one of these on it.
Oh wow, so they're all plugged in like the PlayStations and stuff. I didn't realize that.
And I could even have, I don't know why I'd want this, but I could even have one PlayStation hooked up to 3.
So everyone could see the same thing?
Yeah.
That's really cool. And would there be any latency with that?
No, like not that I can tell.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because everything's fiber wired, basically.
Wow.
The high level of this remote is that it can control anything in the house that has power.
And then is this a projector setup?
It is, yeah. So we just did a big Game of Thrones watch through.
Okay.
So, have you seen that?
No, but that's an endeavor because it's many seasons.
Oh, it's many, many seasons. It's been my wife's favorite show for like her whole life since she's seen it. And so she's always said to me, when we live together, that's the thing we're gonna watch. And so the whole time we've been planning out the cinema room, like every part of the process, we've had that in mind.
Cute.
And when we started it, we just steamrolled the whole thing, and it was the best TV I've ever watched.
Wow.
But so you can hear the crowd
yeah, it's
around.
pretty great, actually.
And so the idea is that the speakers in the screen are at head height. So when a person is talking, you hear it as if the person.
Whoa, that's surreal.
Right?
That's actually crazy. It feels like a concert, and you just get to experience that whenever you want.
Yeah, and it's like one of the most, I guess, humbling moments was I went back to my parents' house and we watched the same anime show that we've been watching here back there. And it's only at that point we realized how insanely like transformative this is.
Yeah. What do you think people could copy like on like a lower scale? Like Is it like buying like multiple speakers?
The cool thing about this cinema is this was insanely expensive, but you can get 95% of it for a fraction of the cost just by understanding why the decisions were made.
Ooh, love that. Like what?
The speakers themselves, beyond a certain price point, strong diminishing returns.
Yep.
Like it's actually, a lot of it is about creating the right sort of sound environment.
Yeah.
And so like having lots of foam, for example, for sound absorption is not actually very expensive. A middle of the line projector with some good processing added to it actually does achieve top end results.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. You guys should add like a concession bar or something.
A concession bar?
Yeah, like with all your favorite snacks.
Oh, well.
Oh, whoa.
Uh-huh.
Love that. Okay, are these your go-tos?
Yep, and then drinks are down here.
Damn, this is cool.
We started off completely loaded with all of our favorite snacks.
Of course.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
slowly we started to tune it into healthier alternatives because we've realized it's not a sustainable.
Love it. Yeah,
fit.
because you're coming down every day for a movie.
Uh-huh. It would work if it was the kind of thing that you'd use like once a week or when guests come over.
Yeah.
But when you're actually using this room every day, it's...
Yeah, then it's dangerous. Okay, amazing staircase on the way up.
We have
Cinema, it was pretty sick. Yeah, you're amazing. Thanks for having us. So this is kitchen area.
Yeah, so kitchen area. Same slight issue with the Philips hues under here, so we need to get
okay.
more diffusion because
Yeah,
you
that makes
can
sense.
see
Yeah,
the
because you can
spotting.
see like the. What is this? Is this like marble?
This is stone from India.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys imported it in?
We didn't. The guy who built it did. He went
Oh,
down
that's
to
so
like
cool.
literally a stone yard,
Really?
picked
In
the
India?
slab he wanted. No, in the UK,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
imported. He literally just like, you just pick your slab.
That's really cool.
Liked the look of this one.
I'm
so
obsessed. I actually love it.
Yeah.
And it has like a lot of really warm tones, which is nice.
That's something you would go for?
Yes.
Like that kind of thing?
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's all one piece. Because you said that this can have like 10 people cook or something?
Yeah, which it probably never will, but it's
Yeah.
cool to know that the capacity is there.
Great. It gives like Gossip Girl vibes.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you've not seen.
Which
but
I've not seen.
Yeah.
But it's, there's something really like space optimizing about the way that this is planned out.
Okay, show me.
The island itself
Okay.
contains all the storage needed for everything that you'd use on the island. This is a dishwasher, for
Yeah,
example.
that fit really well.
Yeah.
Flush.
Like, this is like
Under.
all the top-ups that we'd need.
Whoa! I
know
love
what I
how
mean?
organized. This like does good things to my brain. This is cool.
It
So
actually, it's
organized.
seen slightly better days, but
Okay, but I love that it's like all sectioned off.
we want every single drawer to look like this.
Yeah.
Where every
Oh, it's
single
so
thing has a
organized.
place. Yeah.
I love this.
You always know how many you have.
When you're out, yeah.
As soon as you're running low, yeah, you top them up.
You don't waste money buying things when you already have it.
Yeah, exactly. And so like literally every single one of these things has a distinct purpose.
Obsessed.
And so
That's awesome.
we've kind of started this round 2 of the house series where Dhrisha and I are going through each room. We just sit in it, we look around and we just think, what would this room actually need? How do we take this from the 95 to the 100?
That's really smart.
And
okay.
then we immediately order the things we need for that, set that up.
Is that gonna be a new series?
I think we'll probably do an update, like in a year
I
or
love
something.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is a stovetop. Is it induction?
It's a teppanyaki grill, that one.
Oh, okay.
The middle
Nice.
one, and then on either side. So this is an induction hob. I've actually heard really not great things about these, but in our experience, it's been amazing. People say sometimes it's like technically challenging to use.
Yeah, but you're a
But
tech
like,
guy.
yeah, I've just not had any of the issues. These intake fans,
Yeah,
they
but
literally
they're
sit right underneath here, so there's
Nice.
there's no towering thing above your
Yes.
food. So easy to clean, right? You just literally, it's a clean
Yeah,
surface
because I have
that
a
you can
gas
wipe.
stove,
You've
which
got
is
to
like really
take
bad
the
for
thing
you,
off
and you
every
have to take
time.
the thing off. It's
Yeah.
so annoying. Wow, and it's touch controlled.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, and then little LED lights underneath the counter.
Yeah, that's me.
That's cool.
Anything inside the house and outside the house, actually, as you can see,
Okay.
is
So
Philips
cute.
Hue.
And then wine cellar.
Yeah.
Are you a wine guy?
We like, well, I actually don't like wine. I like JD Coke,
What's that?
Jack Daniels.
Oh, are these fire?
So those are heaters for outside.
Nice.
They go in the garden.
They're
It's
pretty
what-
small.
Yeah, they're quite powerful.
Does it get cold here a lot? Like,
Yeah.
you guys have freezing
It
winters?
does. It does
Okay.
get cold. Door open, then you put your foot.
Whoa.
I wouldn't call it like a useless feature because if you have your hands full of like
Yes.
stuff, you could come here.
All of a sudden
and, like,
it's helpful. Yeah.
But then it's like you still need a hand then to grab the door to then open it.
It'd be nice if it fully swung open.
Yeah.
But I guess also it could hit you.
One of my favorite things about Dhrisha is
Yep.
she is just as competitive as me, and there
Love
aren't
that.
many people like that. So this board tracks our board game progress against each other. Well, board and video
Whoa.
games. So anything we compete against.
Okay.
I get a blue pin if I win. She gets a pink pin if she wins.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So you're in the lead right now in Smash.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
But
No,
you're
no, no,
you're in the
no.
lead in a lot
Oh,
of
no,
things, to be honest.
Overall, I'm in the lead.
Yeah, but you look at the categories that she's
No, but as a
topping.
person, in terms of total number of pins, I'm ahead.
You're thriving.
Thank you.
What is 7 Wonders?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, you're like obviously not.
No, I'm furious about it.
Yeah.
I should be ahead on that, but I'm not.
Wow, I've never heard of that one before.
It's an amazing game.
And I like it to be non-tech because that's the appeal of board games, really.
Oh, I like that.
like-
That's a small detail.
You know, like when people, there's something really nice about specifically leaving your phone away and playing a board game because
Yep.
that feels like a different state to a video game, which I also love. But
Agree. Yeah, whereas then this room is like,
this is mostly like if people come over, this is where we sit, this is where we gather.
love it. It's an inviting couch shape.
It's not an accident.
Yeah, that makes
we
sense.
tried a lot of couches and we found that like having a curve means you're way more likely to be angled towards the other people on the
Agree.
couch.
Yeah, because the straight couch, I feel like ends up isolating the people on the end, and it's really only the person in the middle that's like doing the
100%.
talking.
Yeah, so I think that's why basing it on like a circular kind of inward-looking
Yes, I love that.
seating position.
And then these are cool too because they can swivel to see the TV.
Try it.
They also could be, yeah. All right, moment of truth.
Because those are the single scariest and then most comfortable
Yeah,
chairs
because you
I've
don't
ever
know if
sat
you're gonna
on.
go all the way
Yeah,
back.
right? Because it goes back with
feels-
such little resistance.
Yes, it feels like you could tip at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So you're like pranking your friends and then they like it. Wow, it's comfortable though.
But right,
It's pretty
yeah,
great.
they're really good.
Yeah, and then you can like turn into the combo or see the TV.
Or turn the other way, yeah, if you're not interested.
True. Yeah, they
Yeah.
say something wrong, you're like,
Yeah.
spin
So,
away.
see you guys. See you later.
That's awesome. And then this is the Samsung Frame TV. So I feel like a lot of people have not seen this TV, but it's wildly impressive. It really looks like a piece of art that then becomes a TV.
So to you in person, how painting-like does it feel?
It feels fully like a painting. Like I think you could walk by this, not realize, and then have it turn on and be mind blown.
Did you realize there was one on the other side?
Where? Oh my God, really? Whoa, that's insane. Yeah,
And then
that-
there's the frame TV.
yeah, I didn't, no, that was funny. Yeah, I didn't realize, that's really cool. How big is it?
85, I think.
Okay, wow, that's pretty huge. It's crazy because like I feel like when we both started YouTube, 85 would have been like the, oh my God, this is a nuts TV.
Yeah.
And now that's like kind of normalized.
I think like our entire perceptions of what's normal and what's not have changed, such
Agreed.
that right now to me it looks like the correct size TV
Totally agree.
instead
yeah.
of the bonkers TV that it actually is.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I remember my dad bought like a 70-inch TV like years ago. It was like, oh my God, this is the biggest TV ever. And now it's kind of standard.
Yeah, did you grow up with like a, like a 30-inch or something at home?
Yeah, like maybe a 45.
Okay, yeah, because you're slightly younger.
Yes.
You're actually
it
quite a lot
involved
younger. Yeah.
well, dude, I think we're 5 years apart.
Oh, really?
I'm
Are you-
23.
Okay.
You're 20.
29. My main TV growing up was like a 32-inch CRT.
Oh, interesting.
Like a massive, thick boy.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a huge difference now because now like computer monitors are 32 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the Pokemon stuff. Is this a wireless charger?
Yeah, so we started off with these Pokeballs
Okay.
as wireless chargers. These are also wireless
What?
chargers. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
But then I guess they prioritized form over function.
Yep, so they don't work at all.
They work, but they're not as good. So then we're like, actually, it probably makes sense just to get the best wireless
Yep.
charger. These are
Belkin?
Belkin ones, and they're ones with like extra large coils, so you get a little bit of leeway.
Oh, cool.
So you don't need to exactly place it on the spot.
It's weird that wireless charging has not gotten better. Like that's the one area
For
where
Android specifically, I just feel the lack of MagSafe is just
yes,
so annoying.
MagSafe makes it so easy.
I specifically find the Android issue like baffling. It's still not made its way to phones.
Yeah, why do you think?
It must be just the fragmentation of Android. It's so useful to have that magnetic connection, even if it's just to be able to like stick your phone on a stand and it's
Yes,
also propped
agree.
up, right? So you can see the screen.
Totally love that.
Yeah, that's like the actual rose petals that were on the floor during the proposal.
Whoa.
She had to solve Scrabble tiles
Yes.
that said Dhrisha, Arun forever.
Yes,
and we
you
got them
kept
like
them.
glued together.
Wow, I love that. That was an insane video and endeavor. I like proposing is stressful and exciting enough, but then to
Yeah.
have a production at the same time is crazy.
I think it's like, I only realized how problematic it was when I was too far in.
When you're doing it, you're like, oh my God, audio? Like,
Yeah, oh.
That's wild, but you did it. Yeah, same thing with your wedding speech. Like
Yeah.
the fact that that was a video too is wild.
The issue was that, so it was 500 drones took off and then I synced my wedding speech to it,
Yep.
but you can't retime drones after they've taken off.
Oh my God.
Which meant that I actually hid a secret metronome within the soundtrack of that speech so that I knew what
Nope.
words to say at what points.
Oh my God.
But also while it being the most emotional speech of my life, so knowing that if I like teared up a little bit or slowed down one
It's
bit,
over
I had
for
to
you.
speed up the next bit
Oh my God.
to like get back on cue with that metronome.
This is Guinness World Record.
That was
Oh,
for
that
the
was for the big iPhone, right?
Uh-huh. And then there's
Nice.
actually one of our team members, Paula, made these.
Oh, cute.
So she very talented. She drew them by hand. Which
Wow,
is just
that's
like,
wild.
and then she did one for me, one for Dhrisha, and then one for every
One of
member in
whole
the team.
Oh, so cute. Phillips Hue,
Phillips Hue.
massage. This is honestly giving CES. The massage chair. Looks good though.
It's a really weird market, the market for massage chairs. It's because it's so niche that reviews don't really exist for them. You can't actually find who's a good company, who's upselling you some Chinese import.
Interesting.
But these guys have actually been great. This is Wayron.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I also like, I wouldn't want to watch someone get massaged.
No,
so like
that's
reviews
fair.
are also like a weird one where it's like maybe you
Yeah,
just
you
don't
get
make
like
them.
5 views on a review of a massage chair.
And then the infamous door.
Somehow, yeah. She really likes this door.
Well, I think it's because it's like wild. It opens in a crazy way.
You see so much cool tech in your
and
life,
I'm
but
like,
it's this door. I'll take
me.
it, but you know.
Yeah. Well, also it's a little dangerous because your hand can easily get
I've thought about this. Yep.
Yeah.
I've experienced it.
Oh no. Like bad?
Well, you know, I live.
That's not great. This reminds me a lot of Apple.
You're right, actually. You know what it is? It's the wood.
Interesting. Yeah, it is.
It's the wood. This is the exact color of wood they use on
Really?
all their like, not on purpose, but just accidentally.
Just happens. Yeah, because it really gives the Apple aesthetic. Interesting. And also the tree feels very like Apple Park vibes.
Yes. It's meant to be Japanese, but now you say that, I do understand what you mean.
Okay, I can see Japanese.
Yeah.
This is cool.
And then the mat is like, it's both a way to hide cables, because there's a lot of things wired in here.
Whoa!
But it's also reinforcing that Japanese aesthetic.
I never would have thought that.
Good.
Also, oh my God.
The wall.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Is that real?
It's real, but it's dead and preserved.
That's unreal.
Which is, it's better that way because you can get real alive moss walls, but then you get insects and you've got to spray them with moisture. And you don't want to do that.
And this gives the same exact impression.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's crafted right for the logo. I love that so much. Which one is your desk?
This one.
Okay.
This setup basically is the single largest quality of life improvement. Everything here feels like it is the final form.
Oh,
such that when I'm sitting here, I am like getting exercise with this bike. It's like locked in. We found the perfect position for it. My arms are like permanently at this beautiful like 90-degree angle.
Yeah, that's actually the ideal.
So if I actually be like more like here, and they'd be there. And then that is like.
And also this lights it up so you can like see everything.
I got the perfect one of these wrist rests. So like,
I just admire this level of like dedication so much. It's aspirational.
It's so satisfying because I have had so much wrist pain like up until this point.
Oh, interesting. From being at your computer a lot?
Being at my computer and using bad keyboards in bad ways, basically. And so like, it's actually like so much wrist pain that I have had to stop at certain points. Like I've been on like a train and I've been typing and I've just been in so much pain, I've literally had to just be like, put it down.
Wow, where?
Just
like on
massage
this part?
myself. No, like here.
Oh, interesting.
Upper hand.
Oh, there's something, is it carpal tunnel?
It's actually not carpal tunnel. Like I've gone to so many specialists who've told me it's not that. And then they recommend like splints and I've tried like various different things you can wear.
That's how you know you're dedicated to the job.
Well, yeah. And so the only thing that has ever helped me is actually just making the setup right, which is this.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is really cool. And what keyboard is this?
So this is from a company called Lofree.
Okay.
Oh, try typing. It's really fun.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot like subtler than I would have thought. Is it mechanical keys?
It's mechanical and it's like specifically really low like actuation force. So
Interesting. Yeah, it's pretty thin.
Yeah.
Wow, and this is so comfortable.
Right.
That's
And then this is just the classic.
I have that one. Yeah.
So you want to go outside? You want to
Yes,
go get
should
shoes
we?
and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I also don't mind walking without shoes. Up to you. What was that?
Oh, I just turned on the water features.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa, these are so cool.
Yeah, so they,
And it's so relaxing too.
right, they take a second to like fill in,
Yeah.
but as soon as they fill in, it's just like this continuous smooth stream
And it
of
uses
water.
the same water over and over?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's quite clever because the pattern that comes down here is created by the style of mesh that they've used.
Oh, interesting.
And they can create whatever style of mesh that you want. Let's go then.
Thank you.
Garden, like every one of these lamps and everything is Philips Hue.
Would you ever make it not this color?
Yeah, we actually set it so that at a certain time it changes to like these rainbow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, this is such a nice like area to host people.
Yeah, so that's the fire pit, the hot tub, the
Okay,
TV.
nice. Do you still travel a lot for work or not as much anymore?
So I've been trying to adopt a slightly new attitude towards travel opportunities, which is that if it's not a hell yes, it's a no,
Love that.
which you've heard before.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have the same philosophy.
And so that leads to a lot of situations where I don't take up travel opportunities because there's always a big but that comes with them.
Yeah. This is insane.
This studio is like, I'd say it's 90% done, but like there's some construction that still needs to.
Dude, you're tall. That was just clutch. Oh my God.
Bright,
That's
isn't it?
bright.
It's bright.
Oh my God. That was like 10 times brighter than I would have thought.
That's the first thing you notice compared to like Philips Hue lighting in other places.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 lumens bright. Like, what is going on?
It's probably at least 3 times brighter than Philips Hue. But it has to be because we wanted to put this stone on top.
Yes, and this is the
diffuse it.
miniature wall that you printed, right?
The miniature wall is here.
So basically, for anyone who doesn't know, obsessed with the details, he printed a miniature version of the wall so he could see what the lighting would actually look like with the shapes, right?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I felt like, for me, it was necessary because I'm like, we're not going to be able to build 2 of these.
Yeah.
Like,
So let's not.
Doing a small scale test probably makes sense.
That's
But
pretty sick. Oh my god, heavier than I would have thought too.
Yeah.
Is it made of the same material?
Yeah.
That's why I love how like angular all the chairs are.
When I found those, I was like immediately like, this is what we need.
Yeah, the
And
theme
so-
is future.
Yeah, basically. And there's a lot of things that still need doing here. Because like, for example, right now, a lot of this furniture, it's also LED.
Okay.
And it runs on the same DMX protocol as the rest of the room.
Yep.
But we've not yet set it up into the same system. So
Okay, so it still needs.
I'm trying to use my mouth to project the signal.
Oh my god. Oh wow, and I didn't even notice the ceiling lights are diffused as well.
They're diffused and they're also in sync. If we created an effect such that there was like a blue pulse coming around,
Yep.
the ceiling would also pulse in time with the rest of the walls.
That's really cool.
And so what I'm saying we need to work on is basically making it so that the furniture
Yes.
also echoes that
Because
same thing.
potentially it could be like everything's lighting up at the same time.
Every single thing.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice contrast of
Yeah.
like a lot of lights but then a lot of white. So like if you didn't want the scene to be like very RGB, you didn't have to have that.
It's also because I think the primary, like the flagship color scheme here is going to be blue and white.
Okay, smart.
Because that's the Mr. Who's the Boss colors. So
Agreed.
we wanted a white base such that we could then have blue
Everything.
pops of color.
That's cool.
And the LEDs can be blue. But yeah,
It
it's
looks
just
pretty
like,
amazing. This one's a special room. And also, this is the rollable tripod.
yeah.
So you could take this around any room. You said that the microphone is set up at like the perfect distance. That's such a nice attention to detail. Wait, the
Yeah.
coolest thing I think in this entire room is like very niche, but it's this microphone. I had never seen this until your video. Can you explain to people what it does?
Well, it's basically like physically in a very real way replicating a human ear.
It's actual
such
ears.
that, yeah, and this is like actually modeled off a human ear. Like touch it and feel it as well. It feels like one too.
Whoa, it really does.
But the reason it needs to is to be able to behave like one.
Okay.
So the fact that this is so similar to a human ear allows sound to travel in the same way through that ear,
Yep.
such that I could actually stick a pair of AirPods here and they would rest in the way that they rest in your ears.
Interesting.
And
wow.
so it would be the closest simulation to letting the viewer experience what you're showing.
Yes, because you test out microphones and speakers all the time.
Yeah.
So you can actually pick up the audio as if it was almost real life.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest pain points we've had is like, it's basically been up until this point, trust me bro, this is great.
Yeah, because like you can hear all the like differences, but then when it uploads to YouTube, it sounds like just a stereo mic. So now it's like if you go here or here, it will actually alternate the
Yeah,
side.
it will.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like an unreal piece of tech.
Uh-huh.
Obsessed with it.
And this is an example of the kind of thing we're trying to solve with this room. Because
Yeah.
like when we first had the idea of like, we've got this whole space, what do we do with it? It was really hard to decide what this room was going to be because it hasn't really been done before in a way.
Yeah.
Like people have made studios,
Yep.
but it wasn't clear to us what made this studio necessary compared to every single other room in the house.
Yeah.
We've based it on the different filming scenarios that we end up having.
Smart.
So we film audio products, we film gaming products, we film computer products, and those spaces are pre-designed to be well lit, look good from all angles.
That's
like
really
we've done
smart.
all the hard work
Yeah.
such that the actual on-the-day shooting
It's just shooting.
It's just shooting.
Yeah, because previous you were spending like half the time setting up the sets for the products, right?
Yeah. And I find shooting just like quite stressful, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite part of the job.
Interesting, because
I-
it's so like regimented in what you're saying.
It could be just the fact that I'm actually naturally quite an introverted person and
Mm-hmm.
like the amount of energy required for presenting. Because like you see an end video that's like maybe 20 minutes,
Yep.
but in that 20-minute video, it's like probably 5 hours of camera rolling time, potentially 4 hours of camera rolling
Wow.
time. And so there's so many takes where either I'm not happy with how I pronounce things or something falls or there's a bit too much noise comes in or the product doesn't do the right thing I
Yeah,
want it to.
yeah.
And that you know what it's like.
Yeah.
And so it's just so draining, I find.
Yeah.
And so like the entire thing we're trying to solve is like, how do we reduce all of those pain points such that I am wasting less time and therefore I feel better and therefore I present better.
Yeah, because that's like the biggest thing that they won't see on camera that actually will affect the final product of the video.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel? Like, what's your going into the video energy?
And there's definitely videos that I look back on where I can tell I wasn't feeling great in that moment. Like either I was really sick or I
Yeah.
was like, you know, there's moments where like you can tell towards the end of a take that my like voice trails off and it's because my throat is really killing
Yeah,
me
and
or
you're
something
tired.
like that and I'm tired. My 2025 goal
Yeah.
is to not get to situations where I'm dreading filming days. So just,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're so amazing. I feel like everything that you did is going to lead to that being epic. This is sick too.
Yeah, this is PC Specialist, just pulled off the
Oh,
madness. Yeah,
nice.
we want to put more and more rugs here to make it feel like, I don't want it to feel hostile, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a science lab. I want it to feel still a bit cozy. But
And it's a tough balance with all the angular stuff.
It's a tough balance with the angular stuff, yeah. But I think there's probably a way to pull it off. So this is an LG 8K 88-inch signature OLED TV.
Okay, the naming scheme.
I know, it's silly. But it's basically the idea is just we wanted the absolute best TV there is, even if it's like stupidly priced,
Yep.
just because when you're assessing things, your ability to see clearly any imperfections is
Yep.
just so important.
Commitment. Yeah, and you just did the NVIDIA video,
Uh-huh.
which was a lot. That was like a new endeavor for you, first time.
It was different.
Yeah, was it fun?
It was fun. I think there was like quite a bit of pushback because we didn't get as into the weeds as like people who do this for a living, which is like, it's totally fair criticism and I think we could do better next time.
I like that.
But I liked the process of like learning for that video. Like I had to like re-immerse myself in this world and like remember all these things that I've not tapped for a really long time.
Yeah. What's also tough about that is like, if you were to like do like the level 10 like testing, it would be a much more niche audience than if you do like the general testing.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's partly like a purposeful decision to keep it high level.
Yeah.
And like make a video that my mum could watch.
Yep.
But that's really hard to do when you're talking about RTX graphics cards.
Yeah,
and,
you almost can't.
yeah.
Yeah, and also I feel like the gaming community specifically is like very, very like ready with the facts.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so the learning experience, I guess. It was a good video. I watched it and learned stuff.
Thank you.
All right, you're amazing. The attention to detail is pretty unreal as well.
Thank
and
you.
I'm honored to get a look.
Yeah, well, you come back in a year and it will look very different.
100% down. Yeah, it'd also be fun to see like a behind the scenes we were saying of how you actually shoot a video.
Yeah,
So
I'd
maybe
like
that's
that.
next. All right, you're
Yeah,
the best.
thank you.
Thanks. You're the best. Appreciate you. Dude, this is so cool.